Hello there all, welcome back to eosacro. In this video, we are going to finalize our digital asset by putting on a custom tabletop and setting up a few error corrections. So let's get started. Now to create the custom tabletop, let me go ahead and draw out a custom curve I want. This is going to be a completely different object. So I can go to my curve object and start drawing a table which I want. So let's say I create this shape which I want for the table. Now there are a couple of issues with this table which we are going to encounter. So first off, this curve object is going to be the tabletop. So let's go ahead, dive into our table and use it. So I'll disable the display on it, dive into it, and to bring objects from other geo nodes into shape nodes, all you need to use is object merge. So I'll go type in merge. I have an option called object merge. I'll go enable the display flag. Here when you come down all the way to the bottom, you have an option for the object you want to use. I'll go use a picker and open up the curve object, choose the curve which I want. So hitting accept will bring in the curve inside. Now if I go ahead and let's say connect this as my curve on the normals check, you can see nothing happens. There is no actual face to work with. Now if I come back to my final table object, you can see everything's working, but only the table does not actually have a top. It is just an empty table. It's just a railing which is going across. The reason for this is people might input curves which are not actually closed. So you might actually have to do these error corrections so that the digital asset does not actually break. So let's see how to close it. So all you need to do to close this now is go ahead, bring in a node called ends, connect that onto the object merge which we have, and here tell that the U option is going to be closed. You can either use the straight or rounded, but because it is a polygon, straight is the best option. As soon as you close, a polygon is created. Now if I come out to the final, you can see the table is created with all the legs sticking out properly. The only problem right now is that you might want to have legs placed in a custom way rather than just placed randomly. So to do that, let's come out again and I'll create another curve. So let's go to wireframe mode, and using the curve tool, I'll tell I want a leg here, I want another leg here, here, let's say here, and approximately here. So this is another curve and this does not have to be closed. Now I'll come over to my table digital asset again, and this time I'm going to object merge that one too. So using the object merge node, I'll bring in the curve object 2, the curve from here, accept it, and this is the guy I want to be used for my actual legs. So if I connect that to my leg section, oops, if I go connect that to my actual copy node, you can see that my table now has legs placed the way I want to. So I can have custom legs placement or make them let the computer place it however it wants. So let's go ahead and implement this completely into the digital asset using options, so you can choose the kind of curve you want or the leg placements you want. Now we already know that we have options here using the switch node to switch between either the rectangular tabletop or the circle. Now I need an option so that I can put in a custom tabletop also. So I'll go ahead, connect it back into my switch so that this object is also merging there, and this is going to go into my normals check. So this time the option which I need to do is now what I need to do is go ahead to my type properties for this digital asset. Under parameters, I'll select my actual select input option, go into its menu and add in a new token. So selecting the empty slot, I'll put in a new option called 2 and call it custom. Now I'll hit accept. So you can see that it's using options or referencing objects which are outside the particular node itself. Like we have object merges which are bringing in curve objects which are not part of the digital asset. So it's giving you an error. For now it doesn't matter because we are going to give options for it later. So I'm going to ignore that. Now coming back out, if I select the tabletop, here under select input we have a new option called custom, and if I select that, I get my custom tabletop. Now going back in, all I need to do is make sure that I have another option which lets me select whether if I want the table's leg to be placed according to the way the tabletop is or a new way. So this is going to be, let's say, just a tick mark which I want to make use of. So let me just lay out all the nodes we have here first. So here I want to have a switch node which either goes to the object merge or takes in the objects from the normal check. So let me bring in a switch. I'll go ahead, first connect the normals check and then connect the object merge into this. You'll see why. And then finally connect the switch node into my copy. Now, because I've done this, the default option is going to be the node which is coming in from here. Now, what I could do is go back to my type properties, select my switch node, select drag and drop it right before the leg options. And here, selecting this, I can just change it to be a toggle, which means just a yes or no option. I'll just call it custom legs. Custom leg placement, apply that. It still throws the error because I'm not actually created provision for the node to be referenced from outside. So let's just go implement this. Go back now. Selecting this, I have custom leg placement. I turn it on. The legs go into my custom placement options. I turn it off, the legs go back to the options. I go back to my circular, it's circular. I go to rectangular, it's rectangular. And if I still set it to custom leg placement, the legs go in custom places, but obviously make sure that the legs are in the right place. That's up to the user and that can't be helped here. So now, I've done all this. I need to have an option to make sure that the object merges are bringing in the right objects and not just something random. So to do this, again, I'll go open the type properties. And this time, let's go select the object merge. I'll take the object, drag and drop that in. So I have one option there. This is the custom curve, custom top. And then I have another one for leg placement. So this guy is going to come in here, custom leg placement right there. So placement curve. You can go ahead, put in some help options here so that you know exactly when to make use of it. I hit apply and this time you can see no errors. The reason there are no errors this time is because all the options are outside the actual digital asset itself. It's not inside anymore. Now, I can go ahead, change this, turn off custom leg placement and it's back to the center. If I turn it on, then I have the option to select it. But let's add in something extra. Only when I turn on custom leg placement, I want the placement curve to be enabled or else I want it disabled. So to do this, again, I'll go back to my type properties. And here, when I select placement curve, you can see that I have options to hide it. What I can do is just tell it to hide when this particular option is off. So I can just tell input 2, copy that. So copied that. I'll go over to the placement curve and here I want it hidden when this particular input option is 0. So I can go to hide when. I'll go open up my flower brackets. Inside it, using a space, paste in the input 2 value, which when it's equal to 0, it should be disabled. So you just need to give an option when it's disabled. So I give that, hit apply. And now if I turn off custom leg placement, the option is gone. If I turn it back on, the option is available. So very simple option to enable things here. So I've done this. And also let's do the same thing when my option is set to custom top. I want this option enabled. So I'll go to the select input. I'll select the input option. I should have probably changed the name. Top shape, let's say. And when this input under flower bracket space, when input is equal, actually this time is only when it's not equal, to 2. Apply. Now only when I set it to custom, the custom tabletop is available, whereas when I set it to rectangular or circular, the option's not available. So very simple way of creating digital assets this way. Now, if you change the curve, just go ahead, set to custom, use a picker, choose a curve which you want, and there you're done. You can go ahead and start using your digital asset. So we created this particular digital asset which gives you custom height with thickness of the top and several other options, and I also showed you how to implement these things in different ways. Now the final thing I want to show you is how to get these options right here on the top so that you can go ahead and edit them interactively. So I'll go to type properties. Let's say the main options you want to be implementing is a top shape. I'll select it and tell I want the parameter shown not only in the main dialog but also in the tools dialog and toolbox. I hit apply. And now I can select the top shape right here on the top too. So you can add in anything which is important right here on the top, so you can select it rather than having to go all the way inside it. Okay guys, so that's it for this video. I want to stop talking about digital assets because the video is getting too long now. You can go ahead, reorganize the way parameters are arranged, add in some additional things to make it easier to understand, put in some help stuff. Also organize your nodes the way you want, to rename them, label them however you want. I believe you understand all this, so I'm not getting into any of those. So anyway, from next time onwards, the Houdini stuff is going to be a little different. I'm going to cover lights, rendering, compositing, and different elements. So I hope to create them as soon as possible and see you there. So till then, I hope you have a great time and goodbye.